All right. Let's talk about an article from insider.com. I love this publication because they write such humorous content on their site, and they try to, I don't know, slant it so far to this liberal narrative, right? Again, not Democrat or Republican, but liberal versus conservative. So one of the things that you have to realize when you're reading an insider article is they are trying to incite emotion within the group that they're appealing to. All right, so this was published roughly 22 hours ago, and I read this article this morning. I was like, wow, this is just, there's so much humor, there's so much just terrible journalism in this article. So the article reads, an Arkansas Black Lives Matter group was confronted by an armed militia. One protester carried a flamethrower as a deterrent. A flamethrower. Okay. This is just humorous in itself. Okay. So you set up a protest, and you invite in all these people to show up for a protest, and one dude shows up with a flamethrower. So what they did was they actually organized this protest to be near this night party Ku Klux Klan white supremacist garbage dude's place. Okay, Thomas Robb, here's a picture of him. You know, if this is who he is, I don't know anything about the guy, but he's probably pretty pathetic if what they're saying is true about this guy, which let's just assume that it is. That's not the point of the show, but let's get into the meat and potatoes of what happened. So an Arkansas Black Lives Matter group was confronted by an armed militia at a protest with a flamethrower on Sunday. A protest with a flamethrower on Sunday. Huh. You were confronted. Let me see if I get, you were confronted by an armed militia, as you were an armed militia at that point, you know, with a flamethrower. Oh my gosh, the black entitlement, I mean, BLM movement is you know, I don't know what they are. They're just a joke at this point. I mean, you know, and in all fairness, all lives matter. All lives are equal. All lives should be, all lives, regardless of everything, whether it's race, gender, orientation, religion, all of that stuff, they're all equal. They should be treated as equal, with none bearing more weight or importance than another. Okay, so let's get past that. First off, I mean, I got to keep going. So the New York Post reported that the group congregated in Harrison, Arkansas. I don't even know where Harrison, Arkansas is, and landed near the compound of the Ku Klux Klan leader, Thomas Robb. Okay, so if you're going to stand up for something and you're going to do a protest, what I would do is I would put the people who are showing up in potential harm's way, because after all, you're goading this group of people, right? I mean, it's as dumb as the Antifa people like spitting in police officers' faces at protests. It's only Wednesday. I have all my humor for the week. One protester, Quinn Foster, told Insider that he carried a flamethrower as a deterrent after receiving over 100 death threats. I mean, they did. We're not even into the article yet. You already have. Oh my gosh! All right. Wow, already spelling stuff wrong. Leading up to the protest. Okay, let's get into this article. I read this like 3 times and I was just giggling the entire time. I'm like, this is like the definition of stupid. Okay. A Black Lives Matter protester in Arkansas said he carried a flamethrower as a deterrent if things got out of control during a demonstration against white supremacy on Sunday. Let's talk about flamethrowers for a moment. Flamethrower may be able to shoot flames, I don't know, just natural gravity and environment and everything else, you may get 50 feet. The stupidity of this entire thing is some dude showed up with a flamethrower, okay, that may fire a line of fire 50 feet to then protest, as a deterrent for the people who may carry an assault rifle. Do you see the problem yet? This dude was trying to win cool points. Okay. This dude was a dumbass. This dude is an incompetent buffoon. He just showed up because, with this thing that, I don't know where he got it from, but he just wanted to look cool. He might have bought it from wish.com. I don't know. Anyways. All right. A Black Lives Matter protester in Arkansas said he carried a flamethrower as a deterrent if things got out of control during a demonstration against white supremacy on Sunday. Got it. Quinn Foster, an organizer of the protest in Harrison, Arkansas. So now we're saying that this dumbass is actually one of the organizers for whatever this is, told Insider that he'd received more than 100 death threats from opponents of the Black Lives Matter movement before the protest. I'm going to call bullshit on that. I'm just going to call bullshit on that. Because if you receive death threats, there's actually a government organization that'll help you out with that, bud. They'll actually come in and investigate those death threats, and they will take action against the people that gave them. Sorry. Not sorry. Okay. Oh, there's just so much to it. He said white supremacists were trying to normalize their beliefs, existence, and activities in Arkansas. More bullshit. Okay, because what these absolute pussy white supremacists do, and there are some. Okay, I hands down, I'm not going to deny the narrative that there are some absolute goofballs in this world, but they are this much. They are this much of the entire population is white supremacists, KKK garbage. They hide in the shadows. They hide in the shadows. You're not going to see. I mean, every once in a while they'll do a protest march. They'll do something, right? But this is not this mainstream garbage. Okay, you guys are being played as fools. I promise you. I knew, it goes on to say, I knew that a lot of the white supremacists and militia folks are extremely reliant on gunpowder-based weapons. I needed something that was going to be a deterrent. The 50 feet, right? So if they come at you with that assault rifle that's accurate to 300 meters unscoped, right? You're going to hit them with the flamethrower that's accurate to 10 feet or 50 feet or I don't know. All right, let's keep going. So here's a picture of the dude, right? He's just walking down the street. Actually, he's posing for this picture, right? Because he's all about looking cool at this point, right? With his wish.com flamethrower thingamajig. Yeah. This goes on to say the New York Post reported that the protest began in Harrison and moved to Zinc near the compound of the Ku Klux Klan leader, Thomas Robb. Okay. So you started to one place and you moved to a different place to actually put yourself in harm's way. I think that is the definition of stupid. Okay. That if I'm not going to go into that. Aaron Clark and Jessica Angelica, co-founders of Bridge the Gap NWA. That was a pretty popular rap group back in the 90s. Don't even understand what. Anyways, a group that advocates for black communities in the state organized the protest to send a statement to the KKK, Foster said. What statement were you sending when a dude shows up with the flamethrower? What statement are you sending? Please, because, if you look back through the history of this absolutely fucked up white supremacist Ku Klux Klan garbage piece of shit, white boys doing stupid shit, they show up in the middle of the night. They don't fight a whole bunch of protesters. They don't fight they show up they showed up to homes and drugged dad out and did terrible things to him. What are you standing up to? I just don't get it. Foster, okay, and going on, Foster is the director of Ozarks Hate Watch. which describes itself as a group protecting the state from extremists. Good for you. That's the one thing that I actually agree with here. Okay? All hate groups are bad hate groups. And yours might be becoming one based on what I'm reading. Okay? Dude shows up with a flamethrower, and he's one of the people that put on the protest, that organized this protest. Oh, all right. The group was involved in organizing the protest and assisted with security and medical aid. You brought medical aid because you were trying to start a riot? I'm confused. Foster said that during the protests, the group came into contact with an armed militia. Well, no shit, Sherlock. You show up at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, the Army or Marine Corps is going to come out to greet you. Okay? What the hell? And we're going to talk about Arkansas here in a minute because I got to poke fun at them, right? But anyhow, he said the militia members wore neon tags and carried AR-15s. You know that weapon that shoots further than a flamethrower? Okay. While most of them were not an issue, we did have one who kept pointing her rifle at the crowd with her finger on the trigger. Huh. And that's probably the closest the confrontation came to spiraling out of control. Well, arm everybody with, and here's a picture of her, right? Yep. She definitely, I don't care how terrible she shoots. She's going to do it from a far enough distance away from the protest group to be burned by a flamethrower. Oh, I mean, is Insider, did they turn into Saturday Night Live? I don't know, man. Foster said the members of the armed group were extremely aggravated. Well, of course they are. You showed up with flamethrowers. Because they didn't have anything to defend themselves from a flamethrower. Bullshit. You see that weapon right here? You see this weapon right here? That weapon will take down anybody, and cut them down from 300 meters if the person knows how to shoot. Now, let me tell you something. I don't know how many people you know from Arkansas, but they do a lot of shooting, okay? They do the accuracy. An Arkansas person carrying a handgun and accuracy are like, they're like this. They're like marriage, okay? Foster said the members of the armed group were extremely aggravated. Again, we already went through that. They were expecting me to show up with a rifle or shotgun like I've done in the past, he said. So he's done it before. Okay, so here's my challenge for all you absolute Twinkie pussies out there. When you hold like a protest or whatever you're doing, and you've done it again and again, I am a business person, and everything I do, I prove the concept. And I do that through metrics. Okay, and I'm not going to get into business, but I try something and I may A/B split test something, but then I go back to the results of what I accomplished based on the effort that was provided, and I determine if that was a positive progression to meet my goals and objectives in whatever I do. That's marketing 101. You should try that. All right. Ozarks Hate Watch posted images of the armed group on Facebook. Militia blocking the road to the Klan compound, the caption said. Too bad they didn't realize we had no intention on going to his compound. They were just making sure you weren't going there. And apparently you didn't. It kind of sounds like, well, I wasn't going to do that anyways. When like 2 9-year-olds have a fight on the playground? All right. And again, I'm not standing up for these dumbass KKK people, if that's who they are. I mean, they're absolutely atrocious trash. But the protest ended peacefully, and the militia allowed the demonstrators to go on their way, Foster said. So just in 2 sentences, Insider, you completely changed the narrative because it's okay because we weren't going to go that way anyways. And then in the next sentence, you say that the militia allowed the demonstrators, the protesters with flamethrowers to go a different way. Foster said Bridge the Gap, NWA, I can't wait for their next album to come out. And Ozarks Hate Watch, we're planning another demonstration in September. Huh. That's all we got. That's all we got in this article. I mean, this article is so much fluff. Fluff. All this is race baiting. Talking about a dude that bought a flamethrower off of wish.com. Okay? Naming your group after a pretty decent 90s rap group, NWA. And then showing up with, what the fuck are you guys doing? All right, I just got to call it like it is because while it is humorous to read, you have a responsibility, okay? And I'm pushing this out because this is kind of the core message of this article. If you are protesting, which I completely support everybody's First Amendment rights, but what isn't stated in the Constitution is that you do have a responsibility, not a right. You have the right to protest, but you have a responsibility to be smart about it. And it isn't showing up with the flamethrower as a deterrent to a peaceful protest. That doesn't exist. I mean, there are so many oxymoronic statements made in this article. So let me break this down. And we're going to close it out. Let me break this down to the simple layman's terms. A whole bunch of people showed up because you organized a peaceful protest. And the organizer shows up with a flamethrower. One of the organizers shows up with a flamethrower. What did you plan on doing if shit hit the fan? You were going to burn people. Now, what you've done is you've actually defended the rights of the cray-crays, which you are one of them, by the way, that they're going to show up to their next protest with a bazooka or grenades or some other stupid shit because you just defined the next outer ring of stupid. That's what you did. Own it. You actually also may potentially have caused a whole bunch of people to be harmed in your peaceful protest. Do you see all the stupid that's happening? Now, I got to tell my joke about Arkansas, right? And I use the same joke about West Virginia. It's just a joke, so don't take this the wrong way. But the joke was always, if a husband and wife moved from Arkansas, moved to West Virginia and got a divorce, would they still be brother and sister? Okay, that's the joke. All right. Here's the thing about Arkansas. Arkansas, I've met a whole bunch of people from Arkansas, and I'm talking about, Arkansas. And you have a lot of different types of people. But what you do have in Arkansas by majority is a whole bunch of peaceful people, regardless of race, culture, creed, religion, and race. You still have some of those extremist groups. You do. Because there are certain parts of Arkansas that probably don't even have paved roads yet. And they aren't reading Facebook. They aren't reading the news. They aren't reading mainstream media because they probably don't even have the internet. What you don't do, regardless of what you stand for, is show up to a place that isn't part as a whole of this mainstream movement and throw shit in their face because they don't get it. They don't get it. All they know is those ideals and fundamentals, even if they're one of the cray-cray groups, that isn't a fight that you want to start. I promise. That isn't a protest that you want to organize. I promise. That isn't a situation where you want to show up to that protest that you shouldn't have organized with the flamethrower. You dumb dimwit. Dumb. You got it, Mr. Quinn Foster. You win this week's Stupid of the Week award. You are dumb as dog shit. We used to call you a double D in the Army. Dumb as dog shit. They got it from that movie Renaissance Man, right? No, it actually existed before Renaissance Man. But anyways, don't do this shit. You people are stupid. You people. I'm not just calling out this group. I'm calling out every group. the Antifa scumbags, the all of them, right? All of them. Okay, you are causing divisiveness within our country, and that is stupid. Our country does not need any more divisiveness. I promise. We need to find common ground. We need to bridge the gap, and we need to progress the initiatives of everybody, because there are people within every culture in this country, every specific subculture, because I'm not even calling it a culture at this point, because there's one culture. It's called American. Okay, American. An American doesn't know race. Being an American doesn't know race. But these subcultures that are trying to segregate themselves out and show importance to, one group, to their group over another, shame on you. Shame on you. And I'm going to continue the fight with the BLM, in black entitlement. That's what it's called, black entitlement. Now let me explain, because that is a horrendous statement to make. Black entitlement is the position that you think that you're going to put yourselves ahead of who? The Asians in this country? Let's take the whites out of it. Let's take the whites out of it. Let's talk about reparations, because the Hispanic family that just came here, I don't know, 5 years ago, fought to get their citizenship in this country, and you want reparations for the United States government. This is going to be paid for in their tax dollars. Bullshit. Doesn't happen. Doesn't work. That's why your group will always fail. No reparations will happen. And if they do, oh my God. Because I didn't enslave your people. Hell, my family wasn't even here when that was part of it. But you have the government who only makes money from my tax dollars to pay you for what? That ain't happening. That's all we got for this show. Started off as humor, kind of turned a little bit serious. Press the subscribe button. We'd love to have you back and be able to share future stories with you. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. If you think that I am full of shit, put a comment down there, okay? I'd love to have a conversation. I might even bring you on your own episode if you make any sense. Why? Because I want to give the Americans, which is the most important and powerful group of this country, the Americans, not one group or another, their voice. And I want to get to know you. I want to have that conversation. And we don't even have to agree on everything. But let's find common ground. Let's bridge the gap. That's all I got. Press the subscribe button. And we'll bring you more of these.